Kronstadt is marrying the young Lord of Kirkstein.
Your name is unpronounceable.
Begging to be eaten. I couldn't
Hunger, poverty, and plague. It's too much for a man to take.
How'd you like her wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition in La Belle France. Recipes are passed on from father to son, and each generation brings them to perfection. I myself was practically raised on wine. How many I have? Even the French royal court took note of my refined taste. The king himself had wine delivered for his table according to my advice.
I expect his lordship had the best barrels rolled out. Now, if you'd only known he had a real connoisseur here.
Best barrels! Mon ami, this wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary, where it would suffice for cleaning wounds and easing pain. For that, the taste is of little consequence.
He said that Lord Kronstadt was going with them.
About the girls or the piglet?
They won't remember in the morning.
Everyone's being too hopeful. Don't call me bollocks.
I've got some warm wood downstairs. They'll all need it in the morning.
Good day. What would you like?
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but are you busy?
What do you think?
I haven't eaten so well in a long time. Lord Odoran was fortunate in his choice of cook.
He didn't have to choose me. My old ma spent her whole life in this kitchen, and my grandmother before her. God rest them both.
Wait, you're Kvieta's daughter, Madlenka.
It's been a long time since anyone has called me by that name. I was afraid you'd forgotten me.
You haven't changed at all.
But I have. And you've changed too. You left a haughty young pup, and now you return...
An old dog.
Not at all. The years have been kind to you.
And how have you been all this time? Did my father give you a hard time?
Not really. When he remarried and had another son, his mood improved quite a bit. I also got married. And soon I had my little Elishka running around under my feet in the kitchen. Young Sir Christopher used to come and play with her sometimes. He was always a very nice lad.
And your husband?
Kuba? He died when Elishka was just a baby. He got bitten by a dog, and the wound festered. It was quick.
God grant him eternal life. Tell me more about Elishka.
She's a big girl now. She's a maid here for now, but I'm sure they'll find her a better job soon.
Well, aren't you worried about her? A young girl doesn't have it easy in life.
Even as a little girl, she used to beat up the boys in the village. I put up with all sorts of things without a peep, but not her.
Why don't we go somewhere together? Somewhere private. And reminisce about the old days.
You really haven't changed at all. You ought go and have a drink and stop chasing girls. I mean, it's embarrassing at your age.
I spent half the day scrubbing that floor.
Well, if we can all agree that the name Bucephilus signifies higher value, then yes.
Looking at him closely, I reckon he's more of a draft horse. There are a few of those around my mines, too.
I beg your pardon?
What kind of name is Bruce Phallus, anyways?
Good to see
It's
you.
pronounced Bucephalus, which can't...
You can't beat me. Next time, have a bath before you come to see me, you pig.
I have a bit of coin again, and I'd like to throw it around. Shall we play dice?
What game would you like to play?
I actually don't want to play anything. See you.
May her marriage to Lord Capon bring her happiness.
They're young. They'll have plenty.
How come you're still here, sir? Weren't you supposed to travel with Sir Hanush? Raise an army, prepare a wedding feast and all that?
All hail Jobst. He sorted out things here nicely. He got my money for a start, and that's more than I wanted to give him. But you know how it goes. Give them a finger. I explained to the Margrave that I'm not going anywhere, and I sent my captain with him. He's still young and full of piss and vinegar. I'm too old and fond of my comfort.
Did you at least discuss with Hanush where the wedding will take place?
Nothing to discuss. It'll be at our castle Potsdam, of course. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3 times more people than here, and that still wouldn't be much.
Ah, but there are 2 castles in Rattay. I'd bet my right arm old Hanush will want to have the wedding there.
What? In Rattay? Well, I ought to look into that then.
But deal with him yourself, though. I won't be your gent's messenger anymore.
Rusty maiden in her pew, parish priest has quite a view, sweating at the altar, nearly drops his psalter. Alleluia Domine, Alleluia Domine.
Activated. Deactivated.
Good evening, my esteemed lady. I haven't yet had the opportunity to make your acquaintance.
No matter. I know who you are. Although Martin hardly spoke of you, from what I heard, I could conjure up a pretty good picture.
No offense, ma'am. But whatever picture you paint of me, I have reason enough to believe it's mistaken.
Indeed. So the stories of how in your youth you used to drag a different chambermaid to your bed every night is nothing but slander?
And I also heard that you once fell drunk into the trench in front of the fortress, horse and all.
All right, I confess to that one. But nothing happened to either me or the horse.
And is it not true that one of your paramours made off with your late mother's jewelry?
We are all sinners, Mom. And besides, that was 20 years ago. A person can change a lot in that time.
Unquestionably. My husband is living proof of it. No more than I.
Is your husband here too? I don't believe I've had the honor.
You won't find him here. He stayed at home in our fortress. He suffers from gout and doesn't like long journeys.
Or any journeys for that matter. Even where the king goes on his own 2 feet, my husband has to be carried by 3 servants.
All his life he gorged himself on meat, pastries, and wine, and now he's paying for it.
Would you kindly introduce your 2 companions?
This is Lady Christina, second wife of Lord Binic of Norsteds. She's standing in for him here today.
Nice to meet you, sir.
How come your husband didn't come?
Because he's been rotting for nearly a year in the king's captivity.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mom. I pray that God shall return him to you soon.
I've been praying for it since the day I got word of his captivity. Perhaps worldly powers will come to our aid once the promised army turns up. One hopes.
What's your opinion of the outcome of today's assembly?
That it's about time. Although at the onset it looked like everyone here would carry on arguing like fishwives at the market. But in the end, it seems the agreement arrived at will bear fruit.
It's been a pleasure, my lady.
And this here is Lady Helena of Dvorets, my niece and ward.
God be with you, sir.
Please excuse her. This is her first time at such a large gathering.
You're fortunate, miss. Your aunt sets you a good example. And I'm sure she won't leave you to the mercy of the gentleman present.
Yes, Lady Matilda has always kept a close eye on me.
And I know what I'm doing. Don't think I'm not aware of how some fellows look at you.
Are you well acquainted with our hosts?
Only a little. Sir Martin Oderin and his son have been to visit at Lady Matilda's on several occasions.
They come to me for advice on selecting horses. If it hadn't been for me, that mule he's bragging about to everyone here would have cost him twice as much.
It's rather noisy here for my taste. If your worthy aunt has no objections, I'd gladly escort you somewhere quieter.
Well, Auntie?
Restrain your ardor. You're not the first to try and lure my girls somewhere out of my sight. If you want to amuse yourself with them, I insist on being present, or you may be on your way.
But I had no wish to.
And while you're on your way, we're quite thirsty from all this constant chit-chat. Be so kind and bring us another pitcher of wine. I don't know what's in those kegs, and I don't intend to try it out.
It's pronounced Bucephalus, Ishka.
See now, just mispronounce the name, and we're not talking about a horse, but a cock.
Where might I find the really good wine here?
Why? You don't like the stuff from the kegs?
It's not for me. One of the distinguished guests asked for it.
It's Lord Oderin's best. He's drunk plenty of it himself today.
All day long, they're trying to agree on something they won't remember in the morning.
Excellent. Excellent.
I say, it's a idea of what a horse is, then we'll have to discuss it.
Of course it's a horse. But not a bad one. But it's more suited for a ride in the woods or a hunt. And no use at all for battle. Good day to you.
You don't need an expensive horse for battle. You just need one that can run straight.
May I interrupt you for a moment?
You already did, didn't you?
What's the matter?
Everyone keeps saying that the prettiest girls in the whole county serve the Yoderans at Raborsh. I didn't believe it. But I can see there's some truth in it.
What are you blabbering about?
Haven't you had a little too much wine, perhaps?
Not at all. I could drink every man here under the table. Want me to show you?
No need. I believe you.
Stop bothering us and go pester someone else. Dasha isn't interested.
You pardon?
What kind of name is Bruce Fallus?
Having a good time?
It's a fucking bore. These old farts here have no idea what fun is.
Well, what are you missing? There's wine, food, even a few females worth the sin.
I'd rather have a game of dice. Or a good punch-up.
Don't you dare get into a fight with anyone. You know what a fuck-up that would be.
Aye, I forgot. Only the younger Lord of Rabors is allowed to give anyone here a pasting. And his own kin at that.
Leave it out. They forced my hand.
No, they wouldn't have to force me. That young nitwit was asking for it anyways.
You don't need an expensive horse. Just need one that can run straight.
You're wrong. In a battle.
We didn't end up like that poor son of a... I'm filled with grief. He's calling out.
You in need of something, my well-oiled friend?
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. As they say, all's well that ends well. So, to brighter tomorrows.
Touching.
Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly? Not even a little?
Well, maybe once. The older I get, the worse it is. Give me a few more years and I'll become a professional mourner.
See now. I'll gladly drink to that with you. Only, there's nothing to drink.
Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored away. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh? I'm sure you can manage that.
You can bet on it. I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt it. Get sniffing quick.
Pecking to be eaten. I couldn't resist either.
When you started retching,
Everybody likes a drip of white.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rudart. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you beat it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
Jesus! They're surrounding Christopher! Can't make it on his own!
No! No! True blood! Yeah! He's done for!
Good!
Bad luck! True blood! Yeah! Ha! You got him!
Nice hit! Yeah!
Smash his face in! Let him out! Hey! I need a hand here!
True blood, yeah!
I'll be done with you in a flash!
You won't be able to take another one like that!
Hey,
Whoa!
It's a wonder
Come on, man! Show me your made of! You're almost dead! Done for! That'll teach
One, let's get it over with!
Nice strike! You won't be able to take another one like that!
You're done here, Horsons. That was A close shave.
A little too close. Oh, fuck me.
Do my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Conrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Jobst long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but... not everyone was so lucky.
Where did they go? Back to Rattay?
They've got to raise an army for us. And I hope they fucking hurry.
So we have a plan to counter Sigismund?
More of a promise than a plan.
But, as you can see, our allies are getting scarce. We should lay low until Jobst gets back.
I'll gladly play dead for a while.
Be so kind. And don't speak of the dead.
What happened, Godwin? Who died?
Anna of Waldstein. She didn't stand a chance against those butchers. May she rest in peace.
She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And they almost killed my brother.
But only almost. Good work.
What do you mean, almost? What happened?
I got there in time to help him, fortunately. Christopher tried to defend our father, but nearly lost his life doing it. Nothing.
Old grievances aside, Odorin is an ally, the same as Rutard and Bocek.
Well, they all have their quirks. Cousin Bocek's a money-grabbing magpie. And I wouldn't give up on the fucker either.
We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway. We don't even know where von Bergau took them.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
Markvart bragged about it to Sigismund, and Sigismund promised to make him Lord of Raborsh in return.
When he sees what von Bergau did with it, he'll shit himself.
You find that funny? Do you like watching those foreigner dogs rampaging around and slaughtering innocents? Who else has to die before we do something about it?
Tell us about it. We were neck deep in corpses before you bothered to turn up.
Well, not you.
Fuck you, Jan. I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat, trust me.
We've lost a lot of allies. We'll have trouble finding new ones. They'll be afraid to even peep against Sigismund.
Well, are you surprised? Look around. Sigismund showed everyone what's coming for all who resist him.
You want to give up now?
Nobody said anything about giving up. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth. That stupid nag nearly broke me in half.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. They could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe here.
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And tell Liechtenstein too.
Anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first.
Spare the animals.
My tempest lost his
Actively activated.
They put enough arrows in him to knock down 3 like him.
What about your horse?
I don't know. I saw him bolting out the gate. son one set his mane and tail on fire. Maybe he survived. Maybe he'll come back. Or maybe the crows are feasting on him already. They didn't even spare the animals, the butchers. My tempest lost his life too. He's put enough perils in him to knock down three lives. We have to take care of him after all.
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on. You know I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well, thank God we all survived.
Well, not all of us. They killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined.
Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone.
You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, it might. And very soon. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join. This is a nightmare.
What happened when von Berkhoff hauled you off after the Nabokov battle?
It was a dreadful journey. Jesus, don't even remind me. It was a bit better in Malashov. Apart from being locked up, of course.
Did anything happen along the way?
No, but it took ages to get to Malashov. 4 or 5 days in that god-awful cart. I was traveling with von Aulitz's minions. They hauled me in one of the wagons. They treated my wounds a bit, but I was still in a really bad way. After that battle and all.
What did they do with you in Malashov?
Nothing much, actually. They took care of my wounds, and then stuck me in a room with Brabant. But they treated me decently, as befits a noble. Von Berkhoff came asking questions a couple of times, but that was about it. Only I almost went mad from being cramped in that damned room. It's a good thing you got me out of there.
What did von Berkhoff want from you?
Just the usual courtesies. The captivity of nobles has to observe certain formalities, you know? It's not like they can just throw you in some hole. They behaved fairly respectfully, but of course he was fishing for information. About Radzig and Hanush, and especially Jobst. What they're planning, how many men they have on the field, who else they're negotiating with, and that.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing that he didn't already know. I played as dumb as the village idiot.
And did he swallow it?
I think he suspected I was bluffing a bit.
My word. Nice work keeping him at... But the main thing is...
Indeed.
This is a nightmare.
Here, Mutt! You silly mutt. Good boy. Good boy. Aye, come here.
This is a nightmare.
But the dark will all not like this. God's punishment or not, he brought it on themselves.
What if the old war doesn't come back? Never again.
Leave it alone. Now we're in it with them anyway. spare the animal.
Come here!
Set his mane and tail on fire. Maybe he survived. Maybe he'll come back.
And to us?
Take care of him.
You're thinking about food. So what? Fighting makes a man hungry. I'm sure the people in the hall
Someone gave us away.
But who? Everybody was here. Only Yobs and the reptile lords left.
I'm not saying...
My thoughts exactly.
Activate the activated.
Disrespectful? That's an understatement. The dead are scattered outside. There are crows circling overhead. The tower is still smoking. And you want to run away?
Shout it even louder. I don't think they heard you in the courtyard.
Pull yourselves together, damn it. And prove that this alliance isn't just a farce.
It's easy for you to say. Your fortress is safe, not far away from Kuttenberg.
So what? Any one of us could have come to a bad end.
Would it be very rude to ask for something to eat? My thoughts exactly.
The bodies outside are still warm. And you're thinking about food.
So what? Fighting makes a man hungry.
I knew it was going to be tough here, but I didn't expect we'd be staring death in the face.
I don't think any of us expected that. And they must have been surprised too. They were only going after Odorin.
The devil knows what they were after. Maybe someone gave us away.
But who? Everybody was here. Only Yobst and the reptile lords left.
I'm not saying it was someone from here. Lots of people knew about the meeting.
But to reveal something like that to Sigismund,
would be an admission of conspiring with King Wenceslas's supporters. He'd end up on the gallows in 2 shakes.
So, you think Odin,
Come here.
Ruthard, and Bocek?
I don't think anything.
Come to a bad end here. I think it'd be best to get down.
Let's fight.
Look, I can't now, Henry.
Maybe he survived. Maybe he'll come back.
Or maybe.
I should go back.